Good afternoon. My name is Jen Mankins. Grazie. Perfect. Are the slides working yet? Perfect. Good afternoon. My name is Jen Mankins, and I'm here today from New York City. I'd like to thank the ambassador and the minister and everyone at the U.S. Embassy in Italy for organizing such an exciting event, and especially for asking me to participate. I'd also like to thank and welcome everyone attending the conference. I know as business owners and entrepreneurs, your time is very valuable, and this clock is ticking, so I'll get started right away and tell you the brief story of my business and my experience so far in dealing with the challenges and opportunities of digital media. I own and operate a business called Bird, which is a small chain of 3 multi-brand clothing boutiques in Brooklyn and New York City. Specifically, I sell clothing for men and women, as well as shoes, jewelry, accessories, and design objects. I've been a retail fashion buyer for 13 years and a store owner for 8 of those years, and my stores have become some of the most well-respected and successful in New York City. I carry over 150 brands from around the world, including the best emerging designers. I can only assume that I wasn't invited here today because I'm any kind of digital guru or IT expert. In fact, you might say the opposite. In the past, I've even referred to myself as social media challenged. But I do know a lot about the business of fashion, and I know a lot about customer service and how people like to shop. And these are the 3 biggest components of creating Bird the store, as well as Bird the online brand. During the first 5 years of my business, I was busy trying to establish Bird as a premier fashion destination in Brooklyn, which is a very different part of New York City than Manhattan. Brooklyn is a diverse mix of neighborhoods with a history and flavor all its own, and lots of young people and artists. Before Bird, no one had dared bring designer goods across the bridge to Brooklyn, which at the time lacked many of the wealthy customers and tourists often found in Manhattan. But Brooklyn was changing quickly, and most importantly, it was where I was living and where most of my friends were moving. People were spending more and more time in their new neighborhoods, and it made perfect sense to me to create a place with the best designers that you didn't have to go to Manhattan. I began to curate a unique and dynamic international brand mix. I focused on constructing beautiful stores, cultivating a loyal local customer base, and integrating Bird into the fabric of the surrounding communities. I made sure that Bird was a cornerstone of its neighborhood, something people could count on and enjoy. To make this possible, I created a boutique atmosphere that is warm, friendly, and inviting. The stores are full of color, printed textiles, and lots of natural materials like reclaimed wood. We spend a great deal of time on our visual merchandising because that's the way to communicate the trends of the seasons and the designer visions to our customers. My customers are some of the most knowledgeable and fashionable people in the world, and they have a lot of choices about where to shop and where to spend their money. So I have to make sure they have a near-perfect shopping experience every time they're at Bird. Whether they're buying a $20 purse that I found at a ranch in El Paso, Texas, or a $2,000 handbag made of the finest Italian leather, I make sure they get the same service, the same attention, the same wrapping, the same packaging. All my staff is trained to fully engage with everyone that walks through the door, because you never know what they might buy. And just because they don't buy something today doesn't mean they won't be back tomorrow to make a purchase. And the better their experience is every time, the more likely it is that they will return. Shopping is social and very personal experience, and this is exactly what we set out to replicate when we decided to take the brand online. Next slide. We'll just keep looking at the stores. No, there we go. Today, I operate a blog and an e-commerce website, shopbird.com, and have a growing online presence through social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. But this wasn't always the case, and it didn't happen all at once. Just like I built my stores one at a time, I grew the Bird digital presence slowly and very organically, Excited to experiment, but always making sure to stay within my comfort zone. Probably the biggest challenge I faced in taking Bird online was finding the time and mental energy to dedicate to the task. The sheer scope and speed at which digital innovation is happening can feel very overwhelming, especially to a small business owner that is constantly juggling every aspect of her business. My time is limited, so there has to be real value in everything I choose to do. In the beginning, all my resources were focused on my physical boutiques, and it felt somewhat like a leap of faith to delve into the digital world. There was no guarantee that sending an email or posting on Facebook was going to result in actual sales. So initially, I was reluctant. But just like I sensed that Brooklyn was fast becoming the new epicenter of New York City, I also realized that more and more of my friends and my customers were spending their time and their money online. So the time came when it was inevitable to start communicating with them in new ways. The rapid expansion and accessibility of everything online means that even though I'm a small business, whether I like it or not, I am competing with the biggest stores and biggest international brands for my customers' attention. So it was vital for Bird to go online, to stay visible, and to remain relevant to my customers. The good news in my case is that most of the digital content I wanted to develop actually already exists in my offline brand. I have beautiful stores. Bird is the heart of an incredibly dynamic community. We host great parties and events, pop-up shops, art openings. I attend all the most exciting fashion shows and have great relationships with the best young designers. So a big part of the work is just a matter of capturing and communicating that content for online. The first digital expansion of Bird was to create an e-commerce website. I approached it just as if I was building a new store. I knew it would be extremely important for my customers to have the same consistent shopping experience throughout my entire website as they do in my store. I worked closely with the web designers to capture the look and feel of the shops by using color and pattern and creating digital newsletters that reflected our bright and bold graphic design. We experimented with the photography and the merchandising to get the site to best reflect the way that collections sell and hang in my stores. We're currently working on a web redesign that's going to launch this fall, and we will be shooting all of our products going forward on models and increasing the photo image sizes throughout the site. More than anything, we have found that people respond most directly to big, beautiful photographs, and they want to know in an instant how clothes fit on the body. So we're making changes and investing accordingly. I strongly believe that video is the next logical step to better showcase our products, so we will also be incorporating video footage from designer runway shows as well as creating our own unique video content. After launching the e-commerce site, the next step was to start using social media to market the website and the stores. We began, as most people do, by creating a Facebook fan page. It seems funny now, but at the time we created the page for Bird, my husband had to be the administrator because I didn't even have a personal Facebook profile. I quickly realized that wasn't going to work. So I began to embrace the platform as a way of communicating both personally and professionally. Facebook works for Bird because it's an extremely efficient way to introduce and connect my customers to directly what is happening in the shops and on our website. And perhaps most important of all, Facebook allows us to interact directly with our customers. I love the phrase, give the people what they want. And social media makes it extremely easy to know exactly what it is that my customers want. For instance, last season, I attended a fashion show, took photographs of my favorite pieces directly from the runway, and posted them on Facebook. I immediately got responses from my customers looking to pre-order the items. Just like that, I not only had an idea of what people were responding to, what they liked, and what they wanted to buy, but I was generating offline sales through online activity. The majority of my business remains offline, so our website and my entire digital presence has to serve a twofold function. It has to support and drive sales in the stores by connecting with our offline customers, but it also has to operate on its own and generate online sales and build a community of online customers throughout the world. I have to integrate both my offline and online customers into one connected community. Taken all together, Bird represents a lifestyle, a mode of being, a way of living and looking at the world. I wanted to be able to better tell that story and to develop the inspirational and aspirational side of the brand, so I started writing a blog. I see the blog as a place where we can document everything that goes into Bird: the stores, the designers, the trends, the neighborhood, the city, the press, products, and people that make Bird what it is. I travel extensively, always seeking out the best designers and products and food wherever I go, and the blog is a great way to share that experience with my customers. As a small business with limited resources to spend on development, I have slowly incorporated much of the social media work and digital content into the job descriptions of my employees, my sales associates, and my store managers. Thankfully, I'm able to rely on my staff, who are extremely well connected and active members of the community, and also are directly in contact with my customers every single day. I further incorporate the staff into the branding by featuring them on the site. They talk about where they're from, what they like about the city, and what their favorite things are at Bird. By showcasing their unique personalities and styles, they collectively become the face and voice of Bird, people that our online customers can relate and inspire to, making the online experience more personal. They are the foundation of the Bird community, both offline and online. In addition, our online presence has allowed Bird to easily collaborate with online magazines and blogs, which has been extremely beneficial from a marketing standpoint. Since Bird is relatively new to the digital scene and our outreach is small compared to many of our online friends, I frequently pitch stories and create content for much bigger online magazines and blogs. They are happy to have the content and to be associated with me and Bird, and I benefit by having an extended reach to many more customers than I would by just writing on the Bird blog. In fact, we have found the biggest surges we see in online traffic, even more than through our direct outreach, occurs after Bird or a specific product at Bird has been mentioned by bigger editorial sites. Whether it is writing about my travels for Refinery 29, or having photo shoots of my house for Design Sponge or Martha Stewart, the more exposure I get for the brand, the more it drives traffic to my site and increases our brand awareness and ultimately our sales. To that end, this year I have taken on Instagram and Pinterest as my two new forms of social media, and I think they will prove to be tremendously valuable to Bird, precisely because they are based on images, and at the end of the day, especially in the business of fashion, it is images that sell products. I'm particularly excited about Pinterest and very much looking forward to hearing Evan speak after the break. We're just starting to experiment with these platforms and haven't even marketed them yet to our customers, but many nonetheless have started to seek us out. In summary, to be able to express the Bird world, its people, its products, and its style visually through interactive social platforms has become an integral part of our brand and our day-to-day operations. The basic premise and concept of our company remains the same, but our online presence and new digital tools have given us the ability to create stories, project images, showcase personalities, build communities, encourage interactivity and feedback, amplify the social aspects of shopping, and further develop the community-based retail experience that's always been the core and essence of Bird. Grazie.